And welcome back for another episode of Nintendo Nightmares, a segment where I take a Nintendo franchise and look way too far into things to make something look a lot worse than it really is. And today I'm going back to Pokemon Snap. Now, I touched upon this a bit in my review of Pokemon Snap, but after thinking about it for a while, this definitely needs to be talked about again, due to how severe it is and the subtleness about this dark secret that has been left in the shadow for years. So, what am I talking about? Well, the only way you're even going to be able to spot this treachery is in the manual, but I'm getting ahead of myself. In Pokemon Snap, you take on the role of Todd Snap. Ugh, so original. That'd be like calling me Gingerbread. Somehow that sounds really wrong. But anyway, Todd Snap has been hired by Professor Oak to help him with his research on Pokemon Island. In the game, the goal is to complete a Pokemon report on all the wild Pokemon on the island by taking pictures and observing them in a natural setting. And that's pretty much all that's said in the opening. And with this, you wouldn't even think twice about it. How horrible could it be to take pictures of Pokemon? That's like the most innocent thing in the world. But when you compare that opening to the letter Oak sends Todd in the manual, well, he doesn't come off as a professor we've grown to trust and respect for years now. Let me read it to you.
Dear Todd, my name is Professor Oak, and I research Pokemon. I have heard of your excellent work as a photographer and would like your assistance in my research. I am currently doing research on Pokemon Island. Wild Pokemon are the only creatures who live on this island, making it the perfect place to study Pokemon in their natural habitat. I have thought of asking Pokemon trainers to help me, but I'm afraid they would become too interested in catching Pokemon on the island. If that happened, the number of Pokemon on the island would decrease, and Pokemon Island would lose its value.
And I'm gonna stop right there. Let me repeat this. I have thought of asking Pokemon trainers to help me, but I'm afraid they would become too interested in catching the Pokemon on the island. Alright, understandable I guess, though I think them catching a couple isn't gonna make the island go extinct, Oak. But then he says if that happened, the island would lose its value. What value? Well, some may say it's a moral value, you know, preserve the island as a sanctuary. I don't think so. Because what the hell is a picture gonna do for the Pokemon report? Speaking of the report, what is it on? He doesn't tell you. So, let me get this straight. He doesn't want trainers there, fearing that the trainers would catch the Pokemon and decrease the island's value. So he hires Todd to take pictures instead, and never really gives a good reason why, other than it's for a report? No. This piece of shit is a Pokemon Trafficker. Think about it. What will the pictures really add? And why does he want amazing shots like Pikachu on a surfboard or Magmar attacking another Pokemon? So that he can sell these poor creatures for a high price. The higher the quality of the picture, the higher the price he can sell that Pokemon for. Those point values aren't just for a score, you know. And it's no wonder he doesn't want trainers here. Look at some of the Pokemon that are on this island. Lapras, Snorlax, Dragonite, the 3 legendary birds, and even Mew. No wonder Oak fears that traders catching Pokemon would lower the island's value. Shit, they'd be taken away from Oak's underground business. Man, this is even worse than the game quarter in Celadon City where you can buy Pokemon from Team Rocket. Well, at least there you save Pokemon from slavery by buying them and enslaving them in a Pokeball to do your bidding. Jesus Christ, are we sure Pokemon is ethical? But hey, still don't believe me? Well, think about the items he gives you in this game. First is an apple to lure Pokemon into a sense of false security, making them more likely to trust you. Then a little later, Professor Oak gives you Pester Balls, and what do? Well, they're designed to knock Pokemon out. Look at the poor little guy, completely out cold. And this guy is supposed to be respected, even when he designs stuff like this? Come on. Lastly, he gives you a Pokeflute to control a Pokemon's movement. Like, look at him, he's like, please stop the insanity, I can't control my limbs. And all these items are just for the purpose of getting nice pictures to better understand Pokemon. What a load of crap. I believe this is more than enough to prove that Professor Oak is a Pokemon Trafficker. And in Pokemon Snap, you are unknowingly helping the sick and twisted old man make Pokemon do cruel and unnatural things just so he can sell them off to the highest bidder. Is your childhood ruined? Good. Until next time, sleep tight.